Okay, so Mangai Kumar has posted trying to service in spiritual wisdom for kids and women. Sarika has put in starting freelancing. Mr. Arimbur has posted it. I've started online sessions. And Sudhir Kadam has put already into business. Okay, great. So so we are good to go now. So basically, I want to understand. Okay, freelancing EDE. So the reason I wanted to understand is that I want to point my presentation exactly towards delivering what everyone is intended or with whatever intention you guys have come over here, and not something should come, some outcome should be there from this particular time you're investing with me. Okay, so great. So let's move to my presentation. I hope my screen is visible, and if at all my audio or my screen goes off, please do type in the message, the chat window. So I have been working with a lot of corporates as well as small and medium businesses for over 5 years now, and I had a both different experience. Of course, the size and the scale of businesses are different. That's why the nature or the functioning of any plan or a strategy is different, and that's where we need to understand. MBA will give us a very good idea about overall strategy or overall business plan, but when it comes down to individual business where you are single and when you're alone out there in the marketplace and you're just starting on your own, there are no specific India specific books or courses which will help you really understand how can you start alone or on yourself. Of course, there is a huge education university called as YouTube, and there are a lot of good Indian trainers and entrepreneurs helping other entrepreneurs to start off and kickstart their business. And I'm just a contributor to that as well. So that's a little about me and more about the webinar. So in this webinar, I have divided into four sections basically. The first one is the foundation. Any business you start off with, it might be one person company, it might be 1,000-person company, doesn't matter. The foundation has to be a lot stronger. And if there's no strong foundation, you're just reactive to whatever business situation comes up in your day-to-day operations. And what happens is, over the period of at least a 1 year or 2 year, you start losing out your patience, and it becomes a lot difficult to really sustain that business. And then might as well you consider getting into job. This session was intended to specifically for those who have got a hit from COVID-19, who were in jobs already, or who are in jobs and now have planned to quit the company, or might as well have been told to voluntarily resign from the company, and then uh, stay back at home and not really don't really know have a way out out there to survive in the market. So many of us have started coming up with new ideas and new services specifically to the local markets, as Mr. Modi is very much focused on vocal for local. And many of the small scale businesses as well as individuals have taken it a lot seriously. One of the most booming businesses I've seen, or the most people who are coming out in the market, is with the business of bakery. So many of them have started, they have learned cake making, and they are out there in the market and doing it a lot. And similar other services which can be started right from your home with no resources, absolutely no resources, a little bit of learning, some investment, and then you can immediately start off in the market. That is where around that I'm going to cover more in the foundation part. The second part is the strategy, and the strategy is it's a very simple strategy. I don't want to sound too much technical about strategy in this particular section. It's more about how can we really get into the marketplace, or how shall we get into the marketplace. It's the strategy is all around that. Then the third part is the plan. of course, I am a strong believer that if you have strategy in place and not a plan, it's absolutely a waste of time. And if you have a plan and not a strategy, it's still a waste of execution of your time and time investment you're putting into business. So your foundation, your strategy, and your plan, all these three things should go hand in hand. And we are going to focus more on that in this particular webinar. And towards the end, I would love to take up questions from your all end, because I'm more like a interactive and a Q&A guy, not a theoretical that you give me a slide and then I start speaking onto it. So first three slides, you have to be with me, stay with me for theoretical part. And then towards the end, we'll take up the questions and I would love to answer each one of your questions as per your current business need and whatever your business you are into right now. So moving on. So the foundation, let's get started with the foundation. As I mentioned, any business, doesn't matter you are a one-person company or a 1,000-person company, the foundation needs to be a lot strong. And if your foundation is not strong, you shall soon be kicked out of the marketplace, and you'll not get an opportunity to come back or really uh, figure out what went right and what went wrong. So before you really step into the market, how about we have our foundation really very strong? So as I mentioned over here, all the marketing in the world won't do you much good if you have a weak foundation. I don't know it's with just with India, but it's I've observed in a couple of other regions as well, that whenever anyone gets into business, maybe they start off with any kind of business, they have, if a question is asked to them, how are you going to bring in clients, the instant answer is marketing. We'll do a great marketing, we'll run Facebook advertisement, we'll do Instagram advertisement, and etc., which is now really not a reality. That you start off a business and the first thing you do is go and run Facebook advertisement. That is the common answer which I have been received whenever I ask this question, that how are you going to bring in clients, what's your plan for getting in clients? So paid advertisements marketing is not going to pull you any clients, let me be very straightforward with you. But if you have a strong foundation and a well thought plan and a strategy, then whatever funds you put in for marketing will always give you great amount of returns. Usually they say that your even in business, usually your 40% of your revenue should be allocated to, or your 40% cost should be allocated to marketing. And that's absolutely right. But that 40% of your marketing cost is going to become a smart cost, or a cost which will give you good returns or great returns, only if your foundation is again a lot strong. So what is this whole foundation, and why am I stressing so much on foundation? Let's take a look at it. So your foundation is nothing but your work is your passion, and you are adding value to the marketplace. Now there's a common problem over here, and the problem is that everyone is passionate, everyone loves doing their things which they love. They love taking out their hobby for in the market and execute it. Let's say there are a lot of drawing teachers or who have started this online course because they themselves love drawing. So I'll not call them as drawing teachers, I would call them as artists who, or drawing is their hobby. That would be the right statement there. It's okay, I get it that you have a passion for something, but what we really need to understand is that passion really contributing to any area or segment or a target group in the marketplace? That is where the real business bridge gets built. If you're passionate about something, as Jyoti ma'am has already given the introduction, that I really like it's like photography nowadays. I'm just trying now. It's not happening much, but yeah, uh, I love photography, and it's my hobby basically. I can just I'll just sit with the camera and start clicking pictures. But now that's my passion. Now I cannot go out there in the marketplace and share that, okay, this is my passion, look, this is how I click the photos and this is how it is. No, it will not work unless and until my photographs are value addition to marketplace, or it is a value addition to a particular target group which they are looking for, or might as well they are looking for that as a need for their business. So if I'm doing a photography and I'm doing wildlife photography, I'm clicking good pictures of birds and animals, and now I'm giving out those photos to someone who is in need of for any business they are into, irrespective of that, but it's a need for them. Now that is a value addition to the marketplace, and that is where the bridge gets built for the business foundation, or a strong foundation. Moving on, I would love to take a screen. I would love you all to take a screenshot of this and put it in your anywhere where you work from, or your workstation. Marketing rarely gets you clients. What you do after someone becomes aware of you is what actually books you the client. Uh, it's a very important statement if you're starting off in the business, and if you are too much inclined, or you are tempted towards uh, too much towards the marketing front, on towards the marketing front, then you might have to just hold on there and understand what this statement means. Marketing will rarely get you clients. Marketing is making more on the front of making people aware that you are in the marketplace, providing this particular type of service in the marketplace, as well as you can help them with your business. That is, for you're making them aware you exist, you're helping them know that, okay, someone like you exists in the out there in the market. But what really closes your business is what you do after the any person gets or becomes aware of your service. So they might be a potential client. That is where the business starts, or that is where the really the uh, process of your business or entrepreneurship really starts. For example, if let's take the photography example. If I want to convert my photography business, photography hobby or passion into a business, the only thing I have to do is I have to make my target group aware that I can click pictures. Number one, I can click pictures which you need. I can click pictures which your business need would be fulfilled on regular basis. And now I'm going to reach out to them and make them aware that, okay, this is something which I can do. Now, once they are aware, from there till the time you get converted into them as your paying client, that is where your entire focus should be. Specifically in India, if you see the professionals, the freelancers, or the service providers, they always complain. If you are into business, specifically into service business, you will observe many service providers saying that client just keeps expecting things from us till the time they really become a paying client. And once they become a paying client, then things are a lot easier and they are a lot settled down. But onboarding a client in India for service business is a lot of a task than a product business in India. For a product, it's really very simple. You have a product, it's the entire R&D is done, it's approved, it's all good. You just go out there, explain the features, and then help them with the understanding that where that product can really fit into their need and how it can help them. That's it. The closing can happen. But why in the service business, you really have to give a lot. You have to speak a lot. You have to give a lot of content out there so that they get to know that, okay, whoever I'm connecting with is a credible person I can trust. He or she understands my problem and they have the solution. In service business, there are times wherein you might have to give them a solution beforehand, before they become your paying client, but they don't really know how to execute that solution. So sometimes your conversion might happen onto that. So you really have to plan out your process in your foundation, that how are you going to really tackle this particular challenge or a problem particular to your industry or whatever segment you are in. So if you have taken a screenshot, of course you can just take a printout of it and put it somewhere. if you are a lot inclined towards marketing. Let's come to the next one. The one of the most important foundation in your professional freelancer or service provider business is understanding what you do. First, make yourself understand what you do, and then go out into the marketplace and then explain them what you do really. There's a common trend. Why am I speaking more on common trend is because these are the mistakes which we can avoid and really work on them from day one. Whenever you're planning a service, doesn't matter what scale that service is, it might be of 100 rupees or 100,000, or doesn't matter what ticket size your service is. What you need to really understand or make yourself understand first is, what is that service really? Okay, if I am a photographer, okay, what kind of photography I really do, what kind of technicalities I really know about the photography, what kind of content I can create through my photography for my target audience or my customers or clients. If that self-talk happens with you, you might come up with a set of FAQs, which will be pre FAQs before going out in the market. You might would love to answer them and create a lot of content around it, wherein whenever you are doing your marketing or whenever you're doing your awareness campaigns or anything, you cover all of those FAQs into that, so that your conversion time gets reduced absolutely by half, because now the client exactly knows what you do, because you yourself are clear with what needs to be done or what do I really do. If there is an alignment with you as well as your potential client, the conversion time gets reduced. Also, you also get to know that what work really needs to happen so that so to build your business. uh, let's move to the next. I see a remaining timer of 9 minutes. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so we might just log off at the end of 10 minutes from now. I request participants to rejoin on the same link. So you will continue with the session on the same link, but just opening a new page. That's it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah. So moving on the lines of foundation, he who trims himself to suit everyone will soon whittle himself away. This is a very famous quote by Raymond Hull, who is a Canadian television scriptwriter, and he has also written a lot of non-fiction books. So if you see a icon on the right side, which you see a human being over there, a car, a signal, and a tower, and there's another car in between. Uh, what we are trying to understand over here is that a single person cannot do everything and should not do everything. Unless and until you have a team with you, you have expert people onboarded with you, it is better that you keep yourself away from multitask, which are from different sections, different verticals of your industry. Again, coming back to the example of photography, if I am into wildlife, I would not want to take up wedding photography, I would not want to take up event photography or conference photography. The point over here is that if you are everything to the marketplace, you will be soon be kicked out of the market and you will not be seen as an expert in a market. Take an example of an accountant, let's say a chartered accountant. If that chartered accountant is providing a service of whatever services he provides, let's say he's doing your tax audit and everything related to taxation, that's a service if he or she is providing. And with that, you got to know that the chartered accountant, that particular person, is also into marketing services. Now that is a big misalignment, and if I really want to go to my chartered accountant who is working in multiple verticals, I would question him for his depth of knowledge or depth of work he or she has Of course, and why not? uh, One man army definitely works if you have a really strong foundation of you have been into business for a long time and you have spent a lot of time in multiple verticals. But the way the industry is right now, or the way the economy is progressing right now, things are changing swiftly. So whoever has been into a particular industry for over 30 years, they might have experienced massive change in their industry itself. Or if they have not upgraded themselves, you might see them that they are not really contributive to their company or their marketplace. Or if not in business, if they are in job, they don't climb the corporate ladder as well as quickly as the other people who are adapting to the changes happening into the industry. Okay, so let's take up a couple of questions I see. How should marketplace be braked for whatever you are available with market? So let me read this again. How should marketplace be braked for whatever you are available with market? Keshav, I really didn't get your question. If you can just retype your question again, I would understand it. Uh, we are always asked what's your specialization. Of course, that's what Jyoti ma'am has put into the chat box. We always ask a person, whoever we meet. Ultimately, we are Indians, to be very honest. We Whenever we shell out money, or if you're giving our money to someone, we want it to be given to someone with whom we don't want to spend time for what we are paying him or her for. For example, if I am hiring someone for, I'm hiring a chartered accountant for my work, I don't want to give him any inputs apart from my business nature of business, or whatever basic requirement he wants from me. I don't want to sit and understand his technicalities or her technicalities. I want a solution to my problem. Whenever you go to a doctor doesn't give you a lot of technicalities. Okay, this happens in your body, then this happens, and this cell, this membrane, or anything. Nothing of that sort. He gives you the information, he gives you the basic information. And also he will always ask you the basic information. He will not ask you something which really will not, you will not be able to answer over there. So it's very important to understand that don't try to be everything. Don't try to be one stop solution. You can be one stop solution if you have good verticals are under you, and you also have a lot of uh, good skilled people with you. And then you can of course play and juggle around the verticals you are passionate about. There are business models in the market, there are businessmen, there are sole entrepreneurs as well, who have executed this model for themselves. But then the question is, there are very few, and how many of us are really interested to spend time, especially after this COVID situation, when everyone is trying to get out into market. Ultimately, we are getting out into the market to earn revenue. And for that reason, it's very important that we immediately identify what will give us revenue and stick to it, and not really explore what, अरे इसमें भी पैसा है, उसमें भी पैसा है, उसको इतना charges लगा सकते हैं. Nothing of that sort. Stick to one thing, and then we can really get start the revenue rolling, and then plan for the other verticals. So moving on. So Arimbur sir is saying we have to do market survey before starting business to know your customers and what they want. Absolutely, sir, and that is where I'm heading now. Uh, shall we just log out once and re-log in again? It's just 2 minutes before I take up this point, if everyone is okay.
Yes, we can do that. We can
Yeah.
do that. So let the recording save and you can log in through the new session.
Sure.